LAB is a Australian privately owned company that was formed in 1974 under the name of Analytical Instruments. We've been importing products into Queensland originally, then into Australia in the early years, and then started developing an automation product to augment one of the analysers that we were selling to help with the throughput that required by our local laboratories. We changed from being a Queensland distributor to an Australian importer in about the mid-80s when I purchased the company, and then we focused more on product development in the laboratory automation field during the 90s. So today we are about 50 people based in Clontarf, and our focus is entirely now on the design and development of laboratory automation equipment. In the late 70s, early 80s, one of our customers, who is also based in Brisbane, had an instrument called an inductively coupled plasma, and these instruments were quite expensive, and they wanted a way of automating the feeding of samples through this instrument over the weekend. So our auto sampler was capable of feeding up to 500 samples through this instrument, and we ended up with that particular product getting an OEM contract with a Swiss manufacturer of inductively coupled plasmas and exporting that product worldwide. So the unique feature in that product was the ability to extend the product even after you'd purchased it, from handling just 100 samples up to 500 samples for those really busy laboratories. The market segments that we're involved with, the traditional market segments was all of the analytical environmental testing laboratories. But in the mid-90s we moved also to go into the clinical diagnostics and pathology markets. So we changed our strategy, or we incremented our strategy up to developing a product to handle blood tubes. So with a blood sample, as most people are aware, when you go to the doctor and collect blood samples for the laboratory, a patient can easily have up to 9 different tubes, and those tubes, when they get to a laboratory, some laboratories, busy laboratories, have up to 16,000 tubes per day that all need to be split into where they go in the laboratory. So traditionally doctors can order up to 2,000 different test types, and most commercial laboratories will probably only do the top 50, the ones that make all the money. And the ones that are requested that aren't done in that laboratory are then allocated into a secondary tube and then sent off to a specialist laboratory where those tests are done. Well, we've had a relationship with the ATS for a number of years, and like most government departments, they've been extremely helpful in getting us assistance globally with promotional activities, and also getting access to some of the young graduates coming through the universities here. And for both of those things, we're very grateful, because particularly the young engineers are able to inject new, fresh ideas, that are really being taught and are current in the universities into our company. We also find they are very focused and are able to do short-term projects through to completion in a very quick time. So the ATS has helped us understand the value of those young students, and I think that has a reciprocal effect, that these young engineers then have a feeling for a production environment and a design environment that they didn't previously have. There's a lot of challenges to overcome, and if there is any message that I can give to other companies, it's the determination to succeed is probably the strongest ingredient that a company who's successful has got. And I think you don't have to be the smartest knife or the sharpest knife in the drawer necessarily, but you have to have a determination to absolutely see it through at almost whatever the cost.